Hello and a good day to everyone. So welcome again to our third video run through for our TNCT or Trends, Networks and Critical Thinking in the 21st Century subject. No, bilang video supplement, ang ini nga video gin-create naton para magbulig lamang sa mga laman ng modules, sa pagpaintindi sa aton sa mga laman sang modules naton. No, so sa week 1 hanggang week 2, ang laman sa modules nato ng focus sa trends, sa fads, sa patterns and all of the like. Now this week 3 medyo nag-shift siya gamay kaglantawon naton, no, because ang focus naman sang aton nga module for this week 3, ladies and gentlemen, is more on strategic analysis and intuitive, no, thinking, not critical but intuitive thinking. So ano nibala ang mga strategic analysis ani, ano ining strategic analysis kag ano ining critical or intuitive thinking. So ladies and gentlemen, masukod kita with looking into the most essential learning competencies for this week. Apat lang kabilog ang ato nga MELC or most essential learning competency for week 3. Una is to define strategic analysis and intuitive thinking. Ikadua is to explain, no, strategic analysis and intuitive thinking. Third is to apply strategic analysis, and fourth is application of intuitive thinking. So we focus on these MELCs. Amo ning mga targets ang week 3, no, ma-understand, ma-define, ma-explain kag ma-apply naton kung ano ang strategic analysis kag intuitive thinking. So masugod kita anay with a quotation from Albert Einstein, and the quotation goes, "Life is like a game. First, you have to learn the rules of the game, and then you play it better than anyone else." Now, so according kay Albert Einstein, life is a game. Kag kun gamer ka, as I think many of you are, kung gahampang ka mo online, you know that you cannot just repeat the same actions over and over again. Now, kahit syempre nagalain ang hulag sa imong kontra, nagalain ang dalagan sang hampang, samtang lain man ang imong nga, so dapat lain man ang imong nga approach. And this approach is usually called a strategy. That's why according kay Einstein, kung gusto mo atubangon sang insakto kag sang maayo ang imong life, then you must strategize. Dapat mag-strategy or mag-create ka sang strategy in order to deal with life. And where do you start? Din ka masugod sa pag-create sang strategy, no? Kung naghahampang ka ML, balaan mo dapat kung sino nga hero ang imo ginadala. Dapat sagad ka sa pagdala sang hero mo. Otherwise, no, kung wala ka kabalo sang strengths ng imong hero, hindi mo man maplanado, hindi mo maplanuhan sa maayo ang imong strategy. So you must know your hero. You must start from what you have. You must start from your resource. And personally, we will focus on ourselves. In order for us to make strategies for life, we have to know ourselves first. We are the heroes in our game of life. So we will try to look at your strengths because these are your assets. Ano ang mga powers mo? Ano ang mga abilities mo? Ano ang skills sang imo hero, no, sa everyday life mo? So ang motivational activity naton is to look at this table. And then we look at the two sides of the table. We have skills, talent and abilities versus, no, our virtues and other good qualities. Amo ni sila nga duwa. These two are your resource. Amo ni sila ang ingredient. Amo ni may ara ka. Now, this is where you start with in order to create a strategy for life. So we will try to fill this in. Sudlan ta ni ang table ng ini as part of our motivation. According sa module, padamo-damo, no, as much as you can. Pwedeng kung maubos mo ang bilog nga bond paper or bilog nga yellow pad, the better, no, but try to assess kay personal ini siya actually reflective ining activity. Now while you answer, you do not, wala ka lang nagasabat kay para magpadamo-damo kag mapa-impress sa akon o kung sa imong mga classmates sa imong sabat. No, ginalista mo na da in order for you to look at yourself. Ano ang mga strengths ko diin, no, ang akon nga mga kapag-on sa life. So you list down the skills, the talents and the abilities, and you also list down your virtues and good qualities. Then after you list this down, you try to look at them. paano na ako suni mag-start off with strategies in life. Okay? But before we go on deeper to that question, we will try to first define tagaan na isang gamay nga definition para ma-oriented kita kung ano ang kinatawag na strategy kag ano ang kinatawag na strategical analysis. Okay? So, ang strategy basically, ladies and gentlemen, is a careful plan of things. No? A careful plan of doing things. If you look at the very short definition, it's very self-explanatory. Plano. Ano dayon ang next nga obrahon? Paano makalampuwa sa amo nga kondisyon? How do I kill the enemy? How do I win this game? You create a strategy. And strategy is your plan. Pero hindi siya plan nga basta-basta lang. Dapat ang plan ina siya nga ginpanumduman. Kaya nga nakasulat sa definition, it is a careful plan of doing things. Careful. Meaning ginpanumduman, ginpag-isipan. Okay? Ano gibala ang best way? Kag ano ayan ang mga result sina? Now, that is strategy. Then, we also have strategic analysis. Generally, ang word ng strategic analysis, conceptually speaking, is used often sa business kag corporations. Sa business world kag sa corporations. No? Ang ibig sabihin ng strategic analysis in their case is the process of conducting research on the business environment within which that organization is, in order to formulate a strategy. So ginatun-an, it's a process of researching. Ang strategic analysis, according sa muna ka definition, simply said, is trying to study the condition para mas makakreate sa maayo nga strategy. No? Paano ina siya ginatun-an? We will try to learn that later. Well, for the moment, we will look into the types of strategic analysis that are used in business and corporations. May duwa. Now, una, we have the internal and we also have the external strategic analysis. When we say internal, by the word itself, internal focuses on being able to identify the strengths, the weakness, the positive and the negative elements that are present within sa loob mismo ng business or organization. No. In the case of you as a person, it could also apply. When we say internal strategic analysis, gina-identify mo, just like what we did earlier. No, ano ang mga strengths? Ano ang mga kahinaan mo as a person? Kay dira ka masugod, dira ka maumpisa para mas makaplano ka sa strategy nga gamiton mo sa pagpangatubang sa kung anong situation ang imo ginaatubang. Then, external analysis naman, ladies and gentlemen, is looking for external factors in the environment which becomes obstacles, no, in your growth or to the growth of the company. Medyo business ni siya nga terms or business definitions ini. But if we put it in ourselves, na kung tulukon natin siya sa aton kaugalingon, pwede gid natin ma-apply. Okay? Before we strategize, in order to know what strategy ang best nga gamiton, we have to know first, we have to assess first what we have. And that is strategic analysis. Now, that is what we call strategic analysis. Gina-reflect mo anay, ga-reflect ka anay, ano ang may ara, ano ang pwede magamit, no? Ano ang mga sablag, ano ang mga opportunities, ang mga threats, kag ano ang mga elements nga pwede mag-apekto sa obrahon ko nga plano. That is strategic analysis. Ginatun-an ang situation, no, in order to come up with the best strategy to achieve a particular goal. Then we have, here I gave two, dalawa lang. No, in the module there's only one, pero here I added another one. Ang duwa nga ni are the most basic techniques na ginagamit in order to create no, or to do strategic analysis. Ano ining duwa? Okay, we will start with internal strategic analysis. Kung internal strategic analysis ang gamiton mo, the best technique or tool nga ginagamit para mag-create sini or mag-study sini or mag-process sini is using SWOT analysis. SWOT siya because it is SWOT. Now, these are abbreviations for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. No, amo ni silang apat nga laman sang isa ka table. Bali mag SWOT analysis ka, ga-create ka table. No, tapos sa table nga na gina-identify mo, ginalista mo ang mga strengths, just like what we did earlier, ang mga weaknesses, ang mga opportunities, kag ang mga threats nga pwede makaapekto sa imo gina-create nga strategy o kun sa kondisyon, no, sa environment mo as a person or as a business organization. Now, that is SWOT analysis. Now, SWOT analysis, however, have certain importances. Una, no, why is SWOT analysis important? First, strengths and weaknesses are internal. They are found inside a business or organization. We have to know that the strengths and the weaknesses are inside, now within, internal, whereas opportunities and threats are external. So amo ni mga points nga dapat natin madumduman sa pag-ubras ng SWOT analysis. Ang makita natin sa table, no, ang SW internal, within, whereas ang OT is external or elements na nag-aapekto from the outside. Then we also have to note that strengths and opportunities are helpful, meaning ang S naman niya kag ang O helpful, whereas ang W kag ang T, no, are harmful. So i-create natin siya in a table form or naga-cross or naga-grid sila nga apat. Nagatupad ang SW sa babaw, no, in order to identify that these are internal, and then ang OT sa dalom in order to identify that these are external. Tapos nagatupong man, no, ang S kag ang O identification nga these are the positives, kag ang W kag ang T identification that these are the harmful elements. So kung malista mo na siya, matagaan ka sang idea, sang guide, no, kung ano ang mga posible mo himo nga strategy using this available data. Ikaduwa naman niya nga technique or tool for strategic analysis is the PEST or PEST. No, sa iban PESTEL na ni PESTEL. Pero ang basics hindi is PEST only, PEST. No, ano ang PEST? Ang PEST is looking at external factors. Focus ang PEST. No, kay kagina sa SWOT may internal kay external. Ang focus yes ang PEST is looking and assessing external factors that could affect the development of your strategy. No? P means political. E, no, means economic. S means social, and T means technological. So amo ning apat ka factors nga gina-look into naton when we use PEST analysis. We are going to identify ano ang mga political factors, ano ang mga economic factors, ano ang mga social factors, kag ang mga technological factors nga pwede manginsagabal sa pag-strategize sang isa ka business, no? Kung PESTEL naman niya, like what I have seen in other resources, no, P is political, E is economic, S is social, T is technological. Nagsugpon sila sang isa pa ka E which is environmental, kag L which is legal. No? Kay gina-consider man nila nga ang environmental kag legal factors importante in order to create or come up with a proper strategy. Kay pwede nga ang ini nga mga factors masablag o kung magsabad sa aton on our way to progress. So dapat balanta ining mga threats nga ini. Kung baga ang PESTEL or ang PEST analysis focuses on the threats, external threats that may hinder our creation of a best strategy. A best strategy. Okay, so looking now out of strategical analysis, we transfer our attention into intuitive thinking. Intuitive thinking from the word intuition. Now, what is intuition and what is intuitive thinking? Ang intuition, ladies and gentlemen, is basically the ability to understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning. Meaning, daw common sense, daw feeling mo, amo na siya. Daw automatic, daw hindi na siya kailangan pang i-explain, may gut feeling ka lang. It's intuition. While intuitive thinking is a quick and ready insight, otherwise known as an inner voice, sixth sense, gut feeling, or kutob. Okay? Wala siya sang ginatawag abing legal or any data-based nga basihan. Wala siya sang facts nga ginabasihan. Wala siya sang information ginabasihan, pero feeling mo lang ideya. Intuitive thinking is like feeling mo lang ideya, amo na siya. So it is your quick and ready insight towards something. Mabatyagan mo na that's intuition. Mabatyagan mo na siya nga daw amo ning matabo, daw amo ning next nga matabo. That is intuitive thinking based on your intuition, base lang sa balabatsyag mo lang, balabanta mo lang. Okay, now there are 4 kinds of intuitive thinking. We have to learn this because all of us might have this ability, but some of us might have the kinds of intuitions na mas nagalabaw sa iban. Butang balon, you could be any of the 4 types of intuitive thinkers. Pwede nga ang intuition mo would be emotional, pwede mental, pwede psychic, and pwede spiritual. Or pwede man combination sang 4, or may isa nga nagalabaw and then a little more sang other 3. Okay, so ano ining 4 ka types of intuitions or intuitive thinkers? Una, we have again emotional intuitive thinkers are people, these are people, ladies and gentlemen, otherwise known as empaths. This has to do with the ability to immediately pick up on other people's personality traits or emotional states. Mas maintindihan mo, dali ka makaunawa sang tao. Pagtulok mo pa lang, bala mong ay, masubo siya. Pagtulok mo pa lang, ay, dogin break ka na siya. Pagkita mo pa lang sa iya, ay, gaakig siya. That is emotional intuition. Ma-feel mo ang emotions ng tao. Ma-feel mo ang personality traits ng tao, bisan nga wala pa ka mo nakasumalangay. May cases kung kaisa nga may damit sa imo tapos layo pa lang pagkita mo sa iyo, ay suplado. Daw first impression siya, based on intuition or feeling. Batya ko amo ni. Sometimes it happens to be true, sometimes it could be proven as false. Ikadua, mental intuition focuses on immediate answer to a problem without analysis. Meaning, pag-abot sang problem, balaan mo agad nga, feeling ko amo ng best nga way. Amo ng best na solution. Without even trying to think further. Wala na sang critical thinking. Immediately, feeling mo amo gina siya ang solution sa ang nga problem. Okay? Na-feel mo lang that is the best way. That is the best option. Then next, we have psychic intuition or intuitive thinking. Means having the ability to choose the best path to overcome a personal difficulty without putting much mental effort into it. It also means being able to pick up on social work related dynamics. So may ara kaya nga deeper feeling in the choice of your decisions. May ara ka nga daw may feeling ka nga daw naghutik sa imo to choose a particular path, which is actually haliman sa self mo mismo. Then we have spiritual intuition. This has to do with states of enlightenment or revelations. They're more of an experience than a fact. Amo na ni siya yung mga superb na gid ang feeling spiritually. Ang mga naga-levitate na kuno, no, ang mga deep meditations, ang mga naga-stigmata, no, these are intuitions, no, that are inspired spiritually. Feeling mo, no, and because of that very strong spiritual feeling, you are already performing particular actions, no? So these four are the different types of intuitive thinking. Lahat tayo may ability na gawin itong apat. Yun nga lang, no, hindi siguro to the point nga na maximize gid naton. Tanan kita may ability nga mag-identify sang emotion. Tanan kita may ability nga makahatag sang immediate nga sabat. Tanan kita mahapos or make cases kung sa diin maka-decide kita sang best way, no, even without analysis or without deep critical thinking. Kag tanan man kita may spiritual connection because of a feeling, because of our sixth sense, and that is intuition. Now, why are we studying this intuition? Okay, because we wanted to focus on intuition and rational thinking. Na maraming naghahambal or madamo ang nagasiling nga dapat panumduman versus feeling lang. Okay, feeling ko lang tapos ako naging panumduman ko gid. Diin gid bala dapat, ano gid bala dapat. Okay, so we will try to read this little or a few excerpts from a certain article online, no, about rational and intuitive thinking. So according diri nakasulat, rational thinking is most appropriate when a life situation has presented all the facts and there is a clear understanding of the consequences of a word or deed. There is no ambiguity or unknown. So best ko nung gamiton ang rational thinking kung may pattern, no, kag kompleto ang facts, kompleto ang information, kompleto ang detalye nga kinahanglanon in order to come up with a decision. If everything is well thought of, if everything is well provided, kung ara na ang tanan nga information, then pwede mo siya mapadalman, pwede mo siya mapanduan, mas tudyuhan sang madalom, no, gamitan sang rason, gamitan sang logical thinking, rational thinking in order to come up with, you know, a solution. However, intuitive thinking is most appropriate when the consequences of our words and actions are unknown. Meaning, kulang, no, or wala kita sang basis, wala sang information, wala sang data nga nagsulod sa aton. May ara man siguro pero kulang-kulang. So ang ginagamit lang natin is ang gut feeling. Daw alang-alang gid nga makakita information. So we use our gut or intuitive thinking. When faced with the unknown consequences of a decision, intuitive thinking must rely on feelings which are often scary, muddled, and confusing. That is why kisa mabudlay magsalig sa feeling. Now, kung manugsugal ka or sugarol ka, dira mo makita ang diferensya sa ginatawag nga rational thinking kag sang intuitive thinking. Okay, if you have all tried to play something like poker or something like all in, no, nang magabot ka, okay, may mga cases nga kinatunan, may mga cases nga available ang data, like if tunga-tunga na or nearly the end of the game ka na, no, sa isa ka paksang card, pwede mo ma-see kung mga pila pa ang chances mo, pwede mo ma-assume kung pila pa ang chances mo, kung ano ang mga possible nga numbers nga ma-appear sa imo nga deck. However, no, may cases man nga wala mo na naging panumduman, rather feeling mo amo lang gid na, no, that is a rational thinking versus intuitive thinking. Now, according to this article also, we live comfortably in the world of rational thinking because trust is easy. There's a guaranteed predictability that we can rely on. Intuitive thinking, so necessary when faced with the unknown consequences of our actions, requires an inner trust. Mas mahapos, no, nga mangin rational thinker, ay mas mahapos mag-trust sa mga bagay nga nakita mo na nga naka-exist. This has happened before. This has been proven correct. and because it has been proven correct, it would repeat the same. That means this will happen again. No, makita mo may pattern, makita mo given, makita mo ang data. So mas mahapos mag-trust kay tungod nga may ara na sang basis. Amo na mamabudlay ang ginatawag na intuitive thinking. Kay kinahanglan niya sa intuitive thinking hindi lang trust, hindi lang simple trust sa mga bagay nga nag-exist, but rather an inner trust kuno. No, something that you have to believe. Kinahanglan mo magpati. Kag most of the time mabudlay magpati if wala ka nakakita. Na? So intuitive thinking is harder than rational thinking. Inner trust, according to this article, is a hard road, requiring time for contemplation, requiring the development of skills to even know how to contemplate, how to listen to ourselves, our bodies, our feelings, and thus becoming open to listening to something else. Becoming trusting of oneself is a process of developing a healthy relationship that balances our inner world with the outer world. And in the belief systems ng author, creating a balance in me between the physical and the spiritual worlds. This is hard work. It is a lifelong work, but in the end, it yields a powerful tool that can appropriately guide the intuitive mind when the rational mind is effectively useless. The result then becomes a balanced thinking, the correct application of rational and intuitive thinking. Medyo madalom ng iyang statement, no? Pero ang gusto ipabutyag sa aton diri is paano nato ma-develop ang intuitive, saan nato gamiton ang intuitive thinking, saan kita magamit sang rational thinking. According sa iya, not all the time rational thinking will work. There are certain cases nga hindi ma-explain sang science, hindi ma-explain sang basic information sa palibot naton, and we really have to have the inner trust to believe. We must have that inner feeling to go on, even if we know that medyo blurry, medyo darkened, medyo hindi sure ang atong patupan, but we are pushed to go there. Okay? And according sa iya, it will take time for us to process intuitive thinking and intuitive choices. It will take time for us to trust our own self-intuitions. But when we do, kung maabot naton nga mangin trustful kita sa aton intuition, mahibaloan naton when kita masalig sa intuition kag when kita masalig sa reason. So this is the importance of learning intuitive thinking. Strategic analysis, intuition, intuitive thinking. These are things that we need in order to move on with life. Sabi kanina sa MELC naton, we have to explain, understand, and apply ang strategic analysis kag ang intuitive thinking. How do we apply strategic analysis? Strategic analysis again is applied by studying particular data, given information in order for us to prepare a plan of action. And intuitive thinking naman niya is looking deeper into ourselves, and developing an inner trust in our gut feeling, okay, in our ability to actually decide or choose even without available data or enough nga basis. So these two are important for us to be able to deal with certain circumstances in life. But dapat kabalo kita kung saan natong gamitin ang atong strategic analysis kag kung saan naman kita mabase sa ating intuition. Okay. So we will now look into the activities that are required of us for this third week. Ano ang mga activities na kinahanglan naton ubrahon sa ikatatlo nga semana? Okay, I have chosen only 3, pero it is best that you would answer all activities in the module. However, 3 will be identified as scored activities. We have the SWOT analysis of your barangay. This one is found in activity 4. Nagsalot niya siya somewhere thereafter sa strategic analysis nga lesson sa module. ang requirement 3 is to create a SWOT analysis, no, of your barangay. Kung may ara ka da friends nga lapit sa imo or may classmate ka nga lapit sa imo, pwede man nga isa na lang kamo ka output. Okay, kung isa ka muya ka grupo, di ba kamo kabilog sa sulod sa inyong barangay na mag-classmate na, iti isa na lang kamuya ka output. Pero kung ikaw lang isa, then good luck, no, try your best in order to come up with a SWOT analysis, an analysis of the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities and threats of your barangay. Then make a copy of the SWOT matrix. Okay, so pwede lang first part gali, you must introduce your barangay, a short introduction of the barangay. Ikadawa ang atong SWOT matrix, ang daw table, no, nga may strengths, weakness, opportunities and threats sa atong barangay. Then after we create the SWOT matrix, we focus on the questions given in number 4A, 4B, and 4C. No? These questions are answerable base dito sa imo nga SWOT analysis, and you will answer this in essay form. Okay? This will be entitled as your analysis and recommendations. So bali ma-create ka sang strategies for your barangay, now in order to come up with strategies or recommendations, plans of action for the development of your barangay based sa SWOT analysis nga imong himo. Then ikaduwang activity, intuition writing. May duwa lang ka questions, no? Which of the 4 intuitions have you already experienced? This is found in activity number 5 sa inyong module, no, after sang intuitive thinking lesson. Ano kuno or diin sa apat ka mga types of intuitions or intuitive thinking ang na-experience nyo na? Okay? Do you think it is advisable to use mental intuitive thinking when taking a multiple choice type of exam? Now, ayan, best, ayan manami nga idea nga kung may multiple choice, ang feeling mo lang ang imo gamiton sa pagsabat. That is the second question. So you try to highlight the answers to these questions through your essay, no, sa inyong mga papers. There are no required number of words for these essays. Again, halin sa activity 4 kaginata kadto sa activity 5, wala sang required na number of words. Okay, all you have to do is to answer the questions and to provide what are asked of the activities in your yellow pad. Again ha, please be reminded that we are not accepting, or we are encouraging, not really not accepting, but we are encouraging you kung hard copy ang ipasa ninyo, it should be in handwritten format. Tapos malamang ubras ang SWOT analysis matrix, no, kay ti ma-table ka malang, hindi mo na kinahanglan nga i-print out gid sa computer. It could be handwritten, and your submissions in hard copy should all be handwritten. Okay, and last nga activity is ang think and reflect. The other 3 activities there nga may mga objective answers may be skipped. Pwede nyo man na masabtan kung gusto ninyo, no, para ma-check ninyo kung ano gibala ang na-learn ninyo sa aton nga module, no? Pero kung medyo tamad ka mo, we will just answer these 3 ka mga scored activities. Ang pangatlo is ang think and reflect. Make your reflection by answering the question below. Write your answer on your yellow pad paper. Okay? Anong question? Mothers are known to have strong intuition. Their kutub is usually right. Have you ever wondered how your mother knew something that you've been trying not to let her know? Relate what happened. What kind of intuition do you think are most mothers known to have? Okay. So, matulog kita or ma-focus kita diri sa amo ni nga activity, ma-focus ka sa isa ka experience mo wherein may gintago-tago ka, pero it's something like na-discover mangyapon, nadakpan mangyapon sang imo nga mother. Amo na ang gusto diri i-relay. Kag ang question nga nag-follow up diri is, ano nga klase ka intuition ay hanina? What type of intuition is that? Out of the 4 types of intuition, what type of intuition are most practiced, most evident among mothers? Then, no, you just relate. amo lang gina ang actually statement is you just have to relate no what happened during that occasion, kag ano ang imo nga mga ano nga intuition or intuitive thinking ang ginahimo sang mga mothers. So I guess that ends no our short presentation for this clarification lang no for this module number 3 for week 3. So kabay pa nakabulig ini sa inyo no I know medyo late siya, medyo ginhabol ko pa ini siya kay para makabulig sa inyo sa pag-ubra sa inyo week 3, pero ang iba siguro tapos na at by this moment. However no I hope that the information I added no diri kag ang mga clarifications nga gibutang naton diri nakabulig sa aton mas mapakaintindi sang aton module. So thank you once again for watching, and I hope I will see you again sa next naton nga module run through for week